2024. Okay, so for anyone on Zoom, for the chat box communication, feel free to use the chat to communicate quietly during the meeting, and please show support of our speakers with jazz hands or choose the reaction emoji located at the bottom of the screen to the right of the chat box. Speakers, it is recommended that you pin the timer to help with the time management of your speech. The pin command is at the top right of each participant's screen. Speakers, if you have not done so prior to today's meeting, please send a brief introduction to your toastmaster and your title, speech time, and objective should be sent to your evaluators via chat or email. Subject to reminders about Zoom etiquette. Use your cell phone while not speaking and be mindful of your personal background spaces. Let us begin with the club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Toastmasters participant at 2024 to 2025 Cup President Marco Rio to the virtual webcam.
Thank you, Kate, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Luke, and I'm your president for the 2024-2025 season. Let's get this meeting started by inviting our Toastmaster today, Erden.
Thank you. Hi, I'm your Toastmaster today. I'll be introducing your grammarian and timer. With grammarian. Please welcome our grammarian, Michael Liu.
Hello again. As your grammarian, I will be monitoring your grammar usage and filler words throughout your speeches, evaluations, and table topics. Today, the word of the day is serendipity. The definition is the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. An example in which this word is used is a fortunate stroke of serendipity or a series of small serendipities. Be sure to use this word in your speeches throughout the day so that we may all learn how to use it. Thank you. I'll pass it back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Michael, and I'll be introducing our timer, which is, where is it? Tim.
Hello, everyone. This is I will be putting up on my background. Yellow and red background. This is for your designated speech. So for normal icebreaker speech, only 6 minutes a minute. At the 4-minute time, I will be raising a green. At the 5-minute time, at 4-minute time, I'll be raising a green card. At the 5-minute time, I'll be raising a yellow card, and at the 6-minute time, I'll be raising a red card. And normal speeches, it's 5 to 7 minutes in length.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we're not able to connect it. We'll have it
Okay, Tim, we're not able to connect your audio to the TV right now, so you're a bit quiet, but you can still do timer just by showing the different colors. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Alright, thank you.
There should be some time for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Go through more. We're good for right now, I guess. Erwin, you can bring up the first item. If needed, I can join the Zoom on my phone and then play the audio out.
Our first evaluator of the day is Ian.
Ian's not here.
Oh, Ian's not here, okay.
Thank you, Irvin.
Today I'll be evaluating Isaac's speech, desktops versus laptops. I'll be evaluating him on the basis of clarity and knowledge of the subject matter, clarity or organization of the speech, using the word of the day, and general body language. With that, I'll introduce Isaac.
Thanks for that introduction, Jason. There's no doubt that during the pandemic, a lot of us were working from home, mainly grown-ups, and we had to use a computer to do our work. Now, some people might prefer to use a laptop, which is smaller, more compact, more mobile, and some people might think that is more convenient, whereas others would use a desktop. Now, desktops are more powerful, but they're big and bulky and they're stationed in one spot. So, I thought it would be a good idea to make categories and score both computers off of them. So, starting with cost. Normally in this realm, desktops are more expensive due to their hardware upgradability, their size, and their convenience. That makes laptops, I feel, better cost-wise because you can get a better performing laptop for cheaper than a better performing desktop, and it'll still do everything that you need a desktop to do. It might lack in some categories via processing power or graphical power, as they use what's called integrated software. So that is basically where the chip itself from a graphic driver or graphics card is directly soldered to the motherboard. Whereas on a desktop, they have what's called a graphics card. Some of them can be about as big as this cup that are connected to your motherboard that's used for graphic power. I can show a picture after the speech if you all would like. So for that reason, I feel laptops would be better cost-wise. Now, mobility, which I already know most people will automatically give to a laptop, is mostly correct, but there are mini PCs that can be small, if not smaller, than laptops. Now, although these are better for mobility if you're moving around, say you're on a train and you need to get some work done, or you're staying at a hotel, these are very convenient. Not only do they give you more power than a laptop, but they are also very easy to move. You can put them in a suitcase and go on about your day. But I still feel laptops are better because even if you do have a mini PC, you still have to transport your monitor, your keyboard, your mouse, your audio device. Whereas a laptop has all of this in one. It's like a more powerful phone, but for work. Now, that brings me to my next topic, which is power. This is long dominated by desktops due to them having more space and better airflow. Not just that, but they have interchangeable parts, such as the graphics card, which is, as I said, what you use to process. The most expensive ones getting up to $3,000 or $4,000. You can buy a used car for that money. You have your CPU, or central processing unit, which is basically the brains of your computer. All devices have them. TV has them, your phone has them, the microphone has one, iPads have them. Any device that is used to do anything on, even an audio device, will have a central processing unit that is coded to do its function. So, that is also the second most expensive part of a computer, and it's also what gets everything done. Whenever you do an input, it is sent through the processor and then outputted on your monitor. Now, for that reason, for the interchangeable, I'll be giving power to PCs. Whereas laptops, as I said, they're integrated. Everything is stuck onto a motherboard. You don't have a big graphics card, you just have a little chip that is on your motherboard. There's also RAM. Now, RAM, or random access memory, is basically what allows you to load stuff on your computer. The more RAM size you have, which is basically in gigs, some low-end computers will have 4 or 8, most laptops will have 4. Most high-end computers can have up to 512, such as some of Apple's desktops. But normally in most computers, you will see 16 or 32. That is standard use for most. So that brings me to my next point, which is the display or the monitor. Now, laptops will have monitors built in, but for some older people, it might be hard to see. Some laptops can be as small as 7 inches, or the size of a phone screen, whereas some or most are around 15.6 inches. That's mostly for Apple's and for top-of-the-line Windows PCs like Surface laptops. Now, my last point is service and upgradability. I feel this is dominated by PCs for one reason. You can flip a switch, take off the side panel, and you have access to everything inside the PC. The motherboard, the power supply, graphics card, everything is interchangeable. I've worked on both laptops and PCs myself, and I can tell you from experience what will take you 5 minutes on a PC will take you probably 30 or 40 on a laptop, because you have to unscrew the back panel, you have to unscrew the covering, and you have to unscrew every single component. With laptops, it's just a click and go on about your day. If you let's say you break a stick of RAM in a laptop, you're most likely going to be buying a whole new laptop because it is stuck onto that motherboard. Whereas if you even break your graphics card, the most expensive part, you only have to buy that. You can just take it out, swap it back, and in 5 minutes you'll be ready to go. So, in conclusion, I feel both are very important and both have their own functions. If you're working in an office, you'll most likely see desktops. However, in most schools, they'll be using laptops. Ease of access, and they're less likely to break. So, I feel for that reason, and they're more widely used, I feel laptops are the better option. Thank you.
Next, I'll introduce the second evaluator, Kate. Here you go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kate, and today I'll be evaluating Imara's speech. So, we got this. So, I have many hobbies that I like to do, or activities, which are violin, the piano, and crocheting. I think crocheting is a more interesting topic, and my journey is quite fascinating to myself. I started my crochet journey about 1.5 to 2 years ago, when on a random day I went to the game closet and I found a hook and some yarn that my mom used to do when she was back in the day. I asked her if she could teach me some stitches, and she taught me like 1 or 2. And that day, I said I was gonna make a blanket out of those. It was not a blanket. And I did it out of different yarns I found, and the transitioning of the different yarns were pretty messy. But that was my first crochet project I had did free-handed. My next one, it was a bag, and it was an okay bag, and I wouldn't wear it in public, but it was, let's say, a bag. And I was proud of it at the moment, and looking back, it was a journey. It was a step or a journey. But I started going on YouTube and looking at different stitches to do and making things out of them, like a pencil case or like a makeup holder for my mom or a makeup bag. And I started getting good at it. And I would crochet in public. People ask, where'd you learn? I would say YouTube, because they would think my mom or my grandma taught me. They didn't. I don't think my grandma knew how to do it. And they could go on YouTube and do it themselves. My friends and my family will always tell me you should open up a business or sell them online.
I always didn't think of it or it went over my head, but now I'm really starting to consider it because I am very broke and need some money. So, but I always look on TikTok or Instagram for some inspiration when I can't think of anything to do at the moment. I got to the point where I started investing in some better materials for myself. Instead of the $10 crochet hooks, I invested $80. And my family has supported my crochet obsession for a while. My uncle's mom gave me her old yarn that she used to do, but she doesn't do it anymore. And they would give me materials that they would have around their house. It would save me money from buying yarn, but not that much. I would go to Hobby Lobby, I would go on the 30% yarn sale, I would ask for Hobby Lobby gift cards for my birthday or Christmas because I would want to buy yarn or something of that sort. Overall, I'm really glad that I picked up crocheting and found that yarn in the hook on a random day, because if I didn't, then I don't know what I would be doing in my free time or spending all my money on. Thank you.
Next, we have the table topics master, Kennedy.
Mr. Irvin. Our first topic is for Diana, and the question is, would you rather live with no more music or no more movies?
Mispronounced Deanna. Deanna.
I would rather have no movies because I liked Taylor Swift and it is on YouTube and it is not a movie. And movies I don't really watch that often. Unless it's like Descendants or something.
When you listen to music, how does it make you feel? You have a good time? Or what music do you like to listen to? Besides Taylor Swift? Who we jam to? The Doors.
No, no way.
Well,
Thank you, Taskmaster. Can't get past you.
only on Swifty.
The question is, would you rather be the most likable person in the room and have room temperature IQ, or would you like to be the smartest person but have nobody like you? Michael.
How do I know?
Well, this is a hard choice because although, not to brag, I would think that I am decently smart. I really enjoy that. It allows me to problem solve on a daily basis, it allows me to succeed in school, and it also gives me better chances later in life. However, the fact that I'll be a social pariah does give me some hesitation. I mean, I'm no ladies' man or party man, but I would like to have at least one or two friends I can talk to on a daily basis. I definitely have the experience of losing my friends as I moved around a lot as a kid. So I do value having some close people that I can trust my woes to and also persevere together. To the other hand, I've seen what being popular does to some people at my school. And it would be no underestimation to say that they do have room temperature IQs in my opinion. So, although the choice is hard, I would choose to be smart and have a high IQ, but have little to no friends, because I believe that being smart will allow me to succeed better in life. I think that I can make do without friends, but having room temperature IQ that I cannot make do with. Thank you.
Would you rather always know when somebody's lying or always get away with lying? Kate.
If I were to choose between being able to always get away with lying or be always know when someone's lying, then I'd probably choose to be able to lie the way through. Because, well, what would I do with the ability to tell if someone's lying? Because like I could become a police officer and catch tons of criminals, but I could also tell the criminals like, hey, I know where your entire family is. I know everything that you did. Tell me all of what you did. And I could just do that as well. And if I were to able to always be believed when I lie, then I could get a lot of free stuff, but no one would bat at. So I'd rather like to be able to get away with all lies because of the serendipity it brings me, and yeah, that's it.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what food would it be? I think it's Ian.
Derek.
So if I had to eat one food for the rest of my life, I would choose $1 bajillion. So I could just every meal or every time I eat, I would request $1 bajillion, and I would say, actually, I'm not that hungry. And then I would take that $1 bajillion and place it into my pocket, so I'm a billionaire. And with all of that money, I could buy a Bugatti or I could buy some crocheting hooks, and then I might donate them. But with those $1 bajillion, I could be rich, and then I could also fund my rubber duck company, and then also buy a new private jet. So if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, I would probably choose $1 bajillion.
Would you rather be able to talk to animals or speak every human language? Tim.
Rather be able to all human languages or be able to talk to animals. Personally, I would choose every single human language. What am I really gonna do if I could speak? Like outside on the road, I just see a squirrel, and then it starts speaking to me. What can I really do with that information? It's just gonna be like, I found nuts in your backyard, and I'm gonna go dig a hole and then go put it in there and save it for next time. But if I could speak every single human language, I could travel anywhere without having to worry about not being able to communicate or also talk to people or just find my way around. The thing I'm most scared about traveling would be going somewhere, not knowing how to speak, my phone dying, and now I'm like, I can no way to get home. So if I could speak every language, I could go up to people and be like, hey, you know where this place is, or that place, and they'd be all like, oh, you know our language. Of course I can tell you. And there's also the thing with how if you speak the native language of someone else, they're usually more welcoming to you. If they've been to China and start speaking Chinese to them, they'll be like, oh, yeah, you know Chinese. And then be a lot more welcoming to you. So I would choose to be able to speak every single human language.
Mr. Jason, have I called you yet? Mr. Jason, would you rather live with no more internet or no more air conditioning?
No more internet or no more air conditioning. Well, I'm a little bit overweight, so I don't want to be hot. But if I don't have an internet, I'm kind of behind. I'm in the Stone Age, right? So I'd have to go with no air conditioning. I would just build a house underground. Without internet, I'd be lost. I can't hardly work. I can't learn. I can't grow. So the world will pass me by. But without air conditioner, I'll sweat and I'll probably lose some weight. So I guess there's a side benefit there. But I'd have to modify my house. We'd be underground like in a cave. And it'd be a cool hangout spot. And my friends would come over. It'd always be 65 degrees inside there. Too cold for D. Sorry. Anyway, it'd be exciting times. We'd have some parties down there, and we'd surf the web. Whereas if I had no air conditioner, or if I had no internet, I couldn't invite y'all to my parties. So I'll take no air conditioner, only internet, and enjoy the serendipity of having that. Thank you, Toastmaster.
I should say the ASM.
What is your favorite season and why? Irvin.
The question is, what is your favorite season and why? I would say my favorite season is winter, because think about it. There's all the snow everywhere. It might be freezing cold, but it's fun, right? Not when you're falling off the ice cream, but don't worry about that. But compared to spring, it's cold for 2 days and then burning for 2 days and then cold for 2 days and burning for 2 days. And compared to summer, summer is just putting you on a grill basically, and you have to stay indoors to not get grilled. Fall is, how should I describe this? Rain, rain, and more rain. It's basically raining every other day. That's the end of my speech and the reason why I chose winter as my favorite season.
Would you rather have the ability to time travel or stop time? Is it Mia?
Yeah. So the question is, would I rather be able to stop time or time travel? And I would personally say stop time. Why? So I can finish my homework right before the due date. Because I'm not good at keeping up with time and my scheduling of homework, as I wait till the last minute to do it. Like I do my math homework the period before it's due. So I would prefer if I was able to stop time so I could stop worrying and end up dilly-dallying away instead. So I would rather be able to stop time. Thank you.
That's all for table topics.
What are we doing next? General evaluator?
Yes.
Okay. Let's welcome our general evaluator, Xavier.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So, first up, I would like to bring up our first evaluator, which I believe was supposed to be I think it was supposed to be Kate, but I think she wasn't here, so we have Mr. Pendergrass.
Thank you, Xavier. I had the pleasure of evaluating Isaac's speech, desktops versus laptops. And again, great speech, very knowledgeable, a lot of technical information, which I like. I felt it did fit the audience. Everyone here has dealt with computers and understands laptops, and that a lot of them may not have ever had a desktop, I don't know. So, way to broaden their horizons on what other benefits there are. I thought the paragraph structure was really well laid out. First section kind of set the tone for what the speech is about. Then you went into some compare and contrast, different examples, and then at the end, you kind of wrapped it up with your opinion and your viewpoint on which is the better option. The only improvements I really had, and it's minor things, is use now and a lot as filler words. Now seemed to be a crutch, so I'd probably focus on that one and get rid of that filler word. Use that a lot for transition, so I'd come up with like a smooth transition. But no big deal. And then from a body language standpoint, I think a lot of it's got to do with I was sitting beside you and I was looking at you, evaluating and writing things down, but you spent a lot of time looking at me directly, but you kind of ignored others. So I would make sure to engage the other audience members, but like I said, I think a lot of it because I'm sitting right underneath you, staring and writing about you. So it obviously makes sense, right? Everyone else stared at me too. So, but yeah, great job, great speech, and again, very knowledgeable and another great speech. So good job, Isaac. Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Pendergrass. Now for our second evaluator.
I'm going to be the second, second evaluator for tomorrow, and yeah, so I liked your speech, and I liked how you focused, how you listed out your several different hobbies before focusing on the main one, then listing several an anecdote, and then going on further and further to show that how that story and those events happening after has affected your life now, and I feel like that tells us a lot about you. And yeah, I like how you focused on one topic, and I liked your humor. But yeah, you did good, great overall. But there's just a few things you paused. You had small pauses throughout your speech, which it's fine, but just work on that. And it also felt like you were using "and" a lot when you were trying to remember what you're saying. So just try to not use that filler word as much. But overall, good job.
Thank you. And now it is time for our timers report. Mr. Tim.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So to start off, I'll go through the times for speakers today. So first up is Isaac with his formal speech. He had a time of 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Next, we had Amara with a time of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Then moving on to table topics. First up, we had Deanna with a time of 1 minute 8 seconds. Next, we had Michael with a time of 1 minute 20. Then we had Kate with a time of 56 seconds. And next, we had Eric with a time of 42 seconds. Then I was up next with a time of 1 minute and 28 seconds. Then we had Mr. Pendergrass with a time of 1 minute exactly. Then we had Irvin with a time of 54 seconds. And lastly, we had Mia with a time of 49. And then last up, we have the evaluation. For the first evaluator, Mr. Pendergrass, he had a time of 1 minute 30. And next up, Kate, you also had a time of 1 minute 30 for your evaluation. That concludes my time with the Kate.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. And now finally for our whoops, sorry about that. Our grammarians report.
Hello, I'm Michael, and I was your grammarian for the meeting. I think Mr. Pendergrass and Kate already went over the filler words for the prepared speeches already, so I won't be addressing those. Besides the ones the evaluators mentioned, there were no other major issues. Deanna and her table topics had no filler words. I stumbled over my words a bit in the table topics. Kate had no filler word and used a word of the day once. Eric had one filler word. Tim had one. Mr. Jason had no filler words and one use of the word of the day. Irvin had 3 filler words. Mia had 2. And Jason in his evaluation used 2 filler words, and Kate in hers used none. I would, however, like to make a public service announcement. I believe some years ago, Miss Anna made this announcement to a previous class that took the Gavel Club, where like is used a lot as sort of a filler word, but also not a filler word. It's infiltrated our daily speech as a sort of transition that we use between sentences to when we don't have another word to say. Of course, we're all guilty of this. There is no one here that I believe can claim innocence, because even when I'm not careful with daily conversation, I use like a lot too. However, the thing about speeches is that they're not the same as conversation. You can't be conversational, but you don't want it to sound like a conversation because it's not as casual as just talking with your friends. So if it would be possible, I think everyone can try and work on not having a like in their speeches or evaluations table topics next time. And I think it'd be a great goal for us to work towards in our meetings. Thank you. I'll pass it back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Grammarian. Now for our general evaluation. We started just like a minute or two late, but other than that, every part ran smoothly. We got our substitute evaluator, which was Mr. Pendergrass, did an excellent job there. And Overall, it was an excellent meeting. So I'd like to turn it back over to our Toastmaster.
Um, well, just announcements, and we did announcements. Right. Like,
Sign on this for next meeting.
oh, what's happening here?
We're done now. We gotta sign those.
Oh. I just heard Toastmasters at the side. Oh, okay, I'm fine.